Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my September reading wrap up, going up a bit late. If you can tell, I'm quite sick, but I really wanted to get a video up today and my reading vlogs are not done. I keep mentioning I am in the midst of filming 4 different reading vlogs. They're being kind of piecemealed together. I really should just get my focus under control and finish one, but you have 4 themed reading vlogs to look forward to. I did my eye makeup and that's all I could handle. Threw on some lip gloss, excuse my voice. I'm hiding in Emmett's room so I can try and get this done really quickly. I finished 6 books in September, some really big wins and some really bad reads. Before hopping into it, if you're new here, hello, my name is Emily. This is MacInnis Mama, where you will find mostly bookish content. And let's just dive right into these 6 books I read in September. The first book I finished in September was My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Now, I knew that this book received a lot of really bad reviews, but the synopsis just intrigued me, so I decided to try it for myself. Turns out, I shouldn't have bothered. I did give it 2 stars. This book, you're following a mother hen teacher type woman who takes her baby brother on a vacation, even though they're adults, and they get to their like Airbnb type place and find a body. And then there's this bounty hunter that gets called in because the police are useless, I guess. I don't really know. And the teacher who's supposed to be on vacation just inserts herself into the investigation. And that just doesn't make logical sense of like why they humor her. The mystery itself was fine. It was like a mystery plot and smut. The relationship did not make any sense, and these two would get busy anywhere. Like, oh, my baby brother, again, he's like in his 20s, get a grip, is like off doing this diving lesson. We're gonna sneak over here where anybody can turn around. Also, there was like, oh, you bought this new toy because you're so sexually frustrated. I'm gonna press you up against a car in the middle of the parking lot in broad daylight where your brother could see us through the window at the pub he's sitting at, and I'm gonna use this toy on you. And nobody saw. It was like voyeurism, or however you pronounce that, but like taken a bit too far. Like, it was just weird. I don't know. I'm railing on way too much. It was not good. And then finished The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. Maybe I hold it over here. I read this for my kids' Choose My TBR reading vlog. I can link that up in the cards why it chose this for me. This is the start of a YA fantasy, found family, heist plot, really interesting magic system in here, and I'm looking forward to continuing. I did give this one 4 stars, and I feel like the author did not hold punches. Like, there was towards the very end something that made me cry. I was not expecting that. In this world, the magic, you're called forgers, and you can like manipulate, fill in the blank. Like, some of them manipulate plants, some of them manipulate metals, some of them can manipulate your mind, fabrics, like things like that. And it was very interesting. I'm looking forward to where this is going. This was set, it's historical, and is set in France, which was interesting for me. I don't see where it says the year. I'm not going to ramble on too much about this. I'm going to cut myself off here. If you're curious on my full thoughts, check out that reading blog. Mom. Hi, Emmett. I love you. After that, Sam and I finished our Throne of Glass read. This is 5 stars, of course. I love the conclusion to this series and would love if SJM could give us a spin-off. Like, I need more of Dorian and Manon, especially. This is chunky, almost 1,000 pages. Sam and I read about 5 chapters per day, though when we get towards the end, we typically binge through it a bit faster just because it's so exciting. I know this isn't everyone's favorite. There's a lot of like military strategy type view, like a typical maybe adult fantasy, less of the romance, but it brings the whole series around full circle really well. Like, I think this is a really well done finale, and a lot happens in here. Again, I cried and cried. This is my favorite series that I've read. I've read through this twice now. After reading that, Sam and I decided to do another trauma read. If you watch my wrap-ups frequently, you know that my friend Sam and I, we find these like really awful books and read them together. Why do we do this? I don't know. It is fun. We usually perhaps are under the influence on a Friday night or Saturday night and read these together. This was the worst one yet, and that's saying a lot because the first one we ever did was Triceratops and Bottoms. This was Hornado by Candy Socks, which, just look at that cover. I can't. So I actually found this one because it was part of the Weird Ass Romance book club pick, which I saw their thumbnail for their discussion, which we actually read it that weekend. We should have joined in on their discussion, but we didn't think of that until afterwards. And I was like, what the hell is this book? Let's read it. It's only 124 pages. My ankles are falling asleep. So it turns out Hornado was second best. So this is actually 5 short stories. And Hornado is just like the first 20 pages. There was one in here involving sisters and their stepdad that I was heaving. It was disgusting. Jail. Immediately jail. Hornado itself was just hilarious, honestly. Not so traumatic. It was about, there's this horror recovery center, and this group of like genius men, think of like Big Bang Theory, group of just all kinds of men isolated in this other house, and they create a machine that will make a super tornado that they can control. And their idea is they're so lonely, they're so horny, they make the super tornado and aim it to this horror recovery house, which like, that is how it's described in this book, pick up the whores and bring them to their isolated house. Anyways, my review on Goodreads for this monstrosity, that was 124 pages, was I would give this 0 stars if I could. 5 short stories. All of them were not good. Man. I thought, based on the cover, that it was like, this was a trauma read, okay? I knew it was going to be absolutely redonkulous. I thought that there was going to be this horror. Again, like, you know, this is just what we're talking about today. That was like, I don't know, like a storm chaser. I was thinking like, oh, this cover kind of looks like Twister, and maybe she just gets off on tornadoes. So she finds tornadoes and then, you know? No, that's not what happened. So next I read Layla by Colleen Hoover. I gave this 3 stars. This is like a paranormal romance mystery thing. It's more like spooky vibes. It's kind of less romancy in the way that Verity was. Like there's kind of this like thrilling, spooky atmosphere. I wasn't as shocked at the twists. Like, no, I didn't exactly see it coming and like predict everything that happened, but I have been in a very weird headspace. There's another book, I think I read it in October though, so I'll talk about that later, where something like the twist happens, and while I didn't see it coming and maybe it was a little out of left field or a little bit strange, I'm just like, okay. Like it didn't surprise me either, but I didn't see it coming. I'm talking myself in circles. I hope you know what I mean. I didn't love it. I did give it 3 stars. It was just like a good read. I enjoyed my time. I binged it, like read it super quickly, but it's not my favorite. It's not really memorable. Yeah. And lastly, I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I read this for one of my reading vlogs coming out, and I gave this 3 stars too. So my ratings this month were all over the place. This is a contemporary twist on Peter Pan. It's a dark romance. So it's like inspired by, and we have Wendy and Hook they're like if the villain gets the girl. And I don't think I've ever said this about a romance book ever before, except maybe if it were a novella specifically. This is 320 something pages, and I feel like it needed to be longer because the setup was good. There's some like horrific, dark, twisty bits in here, like a little bit. Some like more horrific scenes that like kind of turned my stomach of what's going on. But the conflicts in here, I feel like were resolved too easily. Like something super shocking or traumatic, or I don't know how to explain it. Like something bad would happen. There's a couple instances in here, and Wendy especially, our female main character, is just like, okay. Kind of like how I've been feeling. But I feel like some of the revelations in here should have affected her more, both personally and within this relationship dynamic that they are forming. Like I feel like she just gets over things a bit too quickly for it to be believable for me. And for that reason, I give it 3 stars. I think the writing is good. I liked this contemporary dark romance twist on a fairy tale. I thought that was fun. I will continue. This is the Never After series. They are standalones, and each one is like a different retelling. So I'm looking forward to reading another one of these. So those were the 6 books that I read in September. It was a wild ride. I'm hoping to read a lot more in October. We're already more than halfway through, so I gotta pick up the pace. You'll have to let me know if you read anything of note in September. Did you find a new 5-star read? Did you read something truly awful like I did? Let me know in the comments down below, and give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.